about graphing form. So to go from standard form to graphing form, we have to use a process called completing the square. And I'm going to write that here at the top. So this is completing the square. Okay, and this was factoring. And I like to do them side by side because students get these two methods confused all the time. All right, so it's good to see them side by side so that you can start to sort the differences in your head right away. All right, so completing the square uses a method that looks very similar. We're going to start with a box. Just like this. We're going to divide it into 4 compartments. Just like that. Okay, and then we're going to take that first term, that x squared term, it goes in the upper left-hand corner, just like we did when we factored. And then, unlike factoring, we're not going to be setting up a diamond. We're only going to use the box here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 2x, I'm going to take this middle term, and I'm going to cut it directly in half. Right? So if I take 2x and I divide it in half, I get 1x. So I'm going to put 1x here, and I'm going to put 1x here. All right, so there's my x squared. There's my 2x. All that's left is this negative 15, and we'll get to that in just a minute. At this stage, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop and I'm going to go ahead and figure out my outside dimensions. Okay, so I'm going to transfer back over to green here. And I know that to get x squared, I need an x and an x. And to get my 1x down here, I have to do x times 1. Right? X times 1 gives me 1x, which means I'm going to do x times 1 over here as well, right? Because x times 1 is 1x. Now, when I multiply my two numbers here, 1 times 1, I get a 1. Okay, so I'm going to switch back to my thing here, and you're probably already recognizing that there is an issue going on. All right, so if I'm writing my factors, what I get is x plus 1 times x plus 1, which is the same thing as x plus 1 squared, right? Because it's x plus 1 times itself. So that's x plus 1 squared. And we're starting to look like this thing. We see our parentheses squared. Now, here's the problem. The 1 that we got on the end is not the same thing as the negative 15 that we have on the end here. There's a difference between the two. Okay? So to correct, right, if I'm at positive 1, but I need to be at negative 15, I have to subtract 16 from the end of this thing. Okay, so we're going to say y equals x plus 1 squared minus 16. Now this thing is going to be the same exact parabola as what we started with over here. In fact, all 3 of these parabolas that we came up with here, whether we use factoring or completing the square, all make the same exact parabola.